I don't know if you know me yet. I'm Truth Detective, and that's my artist name. You know something about musicians? They usually have their artist name. And it's very interesting that in the graphic arts, in the land of the painting, the artist name is really like unheard of. Usually it's the real name that the artist goes by. But my name is so hard to pronounce, so I kind of realized that if I travel the world, I will be known as Truth Detective and in Finlandia as totuusetsivä. And I have noticed that that has helped me like immensely. I can get to know people so much easier because of my, artistic personality. But that's only the start, I feel. I'm going to be telling you about my dream. I want to become an artistic personality. That's what I'm already. I want to become a famous artistic personality. And I want to become a famous artistic personality celebrity, And why is this? It's because I enjoy being in front of the camera. I enjoy, so much being in the limelight. I enjoy that, I want to become famous. Some people don't want that. Or they might want that later in their life, but they're not ready for it, But I'm gonna just say for you, I'm ready for fame, I'm ready for fame. Bring it on. The world doesn't bring it on like before you're ready for it, I'm ready for it. And I feel that it would be great for me because I have worked so much on myself that I would just feel that that's kind of the payoff, That's kind of the payoff. And I feel that many of these kind of people that have worked on themselves so much and worked on their craft so much kind of feel a certain kind of even resentment when they get fame. Like, where were you when I was struggling? Well, of course they didn't know about you, It was just bad marketing and you didn't have anything to like get them to be interested in you. And that's just the way the things are. Maybe that gave you motivation. And I wouldn't want to be just known for my art or my work, like what I do. I feel that that's kind of maybe 25% of who you are, And if you want to become famous, I feel that that's kind of like 25%. And some people are, naturally kind of magnetic and maybe charismatic also. If you think about who were the the popular kids in your school. I'm gonna tell you that who was popular in your school it has nothing to do who will become famous, later on in their life. I'm sure that I have more followers right now than any of the people who were in my school right now. I mean, when I was younger, growing up. I'm sure that I'm already more famous than them. Any one of them. It's just that I started chasing this fucking thing. And if I met all those people, that were, for example, in my school when I was in when I was 12 to 15, that school, upper mid grade, or what is that, That sounds like fucking talking about weed, Maybe that's the reason I'm becoming a little bit more known also. Yeah, you have to use everything to your advantage, But don't become that fucking Snoop Dogg in the process, Or save that for your retirement. Think about that. Every freaking publication writing about Truth Detective, smoking just weed every day nowadays. Nothing else talks about than smoking weed. Yeah. But I mean that none of those, students, they wouldn't even recognize me, I've changed so much, I have changed so freaking much, you know, like my face even is different. It's crazy. Or maybe they might recognize me, I don't know. Probably some of them, you know, have already found me on YouTube. That would be kind of hilarious. My ultimate plan to find you guys. Yeah. But that's not fame, you know. And yeah, some people get really famous even though they are not anything amazing. And that's the truth about most of humanity, you know. Most of humanity is not anything amazing, you know. Some people become famous and very known through the media. And because they have all the cameras and that kind of stuff. And when I play around with my own kind of stuff here on YouTube, you know, I have to fight against, you know, and I have to compete against these kind of, you know, dumb wats, you know, so to say. But I'm not like closing it off in my life that I wouldn't want to take an advantage of this, you know, already established, you know, means. If somebody wants an interview with Truth Detective from some publication, I would say yes to it because I just feel that that's an opportunity to market myself. I'm not really cared in your work, you know, like what you do. But if you do that kind of thing, then sure, go ahead and suggest that to me if you kind of can get a hold of me in any way. Probably nobody cares at this point, and that's understandable. And very few artists kind of nowadays, you know, they break through, but I feel that those artists that broke through, their own work might have been spectacular, but it wasn't made, you know, world known and world renowned for its spectacularity. It was made world renowned for its innovativeness. And it's kind of having a seed of something very experimental that was like brought to fruition. Like David Hockney, for example, he broke all the fucking rules, you know. He broke all the fucking rules. And what he did with photography, you know, for example, in my own photography you can see some David Hockney in it. But I took it to the next level. David Hockney couldn't have done what I do. It's not being better than anybody else, it's just that the artist before you and the artist next to you will take what you did and take it to the next level, or make it his own, or use it to make something in the next generation of art. And I feel that in the history of art, now we go to the dry stuff that would be more suited for the lecture in some university. Nobody would care about this. But I'm gonna tell it to you anyway, that in the history of art, some people look at it through this lens that art is going in a bad direction and it was better before. But I'm going to say that that's not really true. Art at this point has to kind of find itself, and that's what art has to always have like done to itself, you know. It has to find its own truth, you know, in the time that it is belonging in, you know, whatever art it might be, music, literature, whatever, movies. It has to find its own truth in that time. How we can do this in this timeline? What are the options? What are the tools? What are the methods? How's the world? You know, at this time. Does it rain today? It has to find its truth in that. For example, today is a rainy day, so I'm not out there filming videos. I would have been there, but I kind of went that, okay, I'm not gonna do this today because I kind of want to protect my filming gear. Yeah, but you know, when you get some celebrity somewhere, rain or shine, some fucking, you know, reporter will go with his camera, you know, and shoot that freaking guy. I mean, don't shoot that freaking celebrity, but you know, he will go and like get your attention on the person. Like why? Like why? Why does the world like do this? Why are there these people who want to get your attention on somebody? Well, because they make their monies off this, you know. They survive through this. So they won't point their kind of cameras to the guy that doesn't get them like monies, you know, like eyeballs and fame. So they make the person famous. You have to understand. So when you want to become famous like this, it's a new kind of an idea. You are not in there, you are not trying to become fame. You are trying to make them make you famous, you know. It's kind of like I'm trying to make you make me pizza, you know. I want you to make me pizza. What happens? Like, how do you do that? Well, you pay money for it, you know, with money. You help them, you know, in some way. That's how you get the limelight, like, on you. But I have said this to you that I feel that how would I say it? The prospects of doing that over here where I live are so slim and none, you know. It seems that whatever talent you have, it don't matter in this town. It don't matter. You have to understand that when you are performing for an audience of 50 people, you go into a room where there's 50 people, you feel like that's a lot. And that's a lot actually. 50 people is a lot. And if they were present with you, for example, in this room, 50 people, you know, you would feel that it's pretty cramped over here, you know. But if you take that and you like think about, for example, stadium, you bring 200 people there, that's not a lot, you know, on a stadium, you know. And for example, think about where the most famous like music artists, you know, where they play on stadiums and this kind of stuff, where a lot of people come to, all the best soccer players, you know. And these people are usually known mainly for their work and secondly for who they are. And the biographies are written about them, you know. And for example, like Elon Musk at the moment, he's becoming exactly like this. He's known for his work, but he's more known also for his personality. He does the thing like an artist ought to do it, you know. He has a vision. And it was the same with Steve Jobs, and Steve Jobs might have been more of an artist. And that's what I'm going for, but I can't name any artists that are kind of like going for that kind of a thing, because artists are usually working for a boss, you know, in the music industry, at least those who become famous, you know. Of course, like Michael Jackson, actually, he became publishing, or he started publishing records through his own record company in the later part of his life, like before he committed a suicide. He had huge debts also. And why do we know this? Well, it was made known to us, you know. But he also was known for his work, but also for his artistic identity, even though he kept it kind of, you know, undercover. And I feel that openness is the language of today, you know. Like, holy shit, that's a good quote. Openness is the language of today. I have to write that down. Write it down. Openness is the language of today. If you think about, for example, somebody like Linus Torvalds, you know, the inventor of Linux. I made you a lot of videos about Linux yesterday. Linus Torvalds, you know, he's pretty famous. Almost like everybody in the tech world at least knows the guy. But if you ask some girl, you know, over the street, you know, hey, do you know Linus Torvalds? If she's not Finnish, you know, it's pretty slim possibility that she will know the guy. But if you ask, do you know Bill Gates? She will probably know him. Why? Maybe not because of Windows actually. Maybe more because what he has done in terms of like caring for those people, you know, overseas, you know, with all the kinds of, you know, stunts, you know, like that. So you have to understand also that you have male and you have female audience, and how do you become known in your male audience, you know? Like, it might be for the fact that you say interesting things, you talk about interesting stuff, or for the car you drive, or anything like that, or maybe for your work. But in the female audience it might be more like how you talk, maybe more like how you dress, or maybe more about how you come off as a person when you actually meet this dude, and you know, that kind of stuff. So cater to these both if you want to become, you know, famous, you know, understand that females and males are also different. So there's a lot of like famous celebrity people that are only known usually by the females. And then there are those that are only usually known by the males. If you ask some like women, do you know Richard Stallman? You know, like he's pretty known of a guy, you know. And he was also he's the second founding father of Linux operating system. And like he's behind so much of the stuff that you use every day, even if you are a freaking woman, you know. I'm sure you use Facebook, you know, I'm sure you use like all the freaking technology in the world nowadays. And that's how you get to know most of these, you know, celebrity types. But I'm gonna say that most of them are pretty, you know, slim in there. They're probably pretty slim in their, like, you know, physical demeanor. Also, they look good usually. Not everybody of them, but usually it's one of those things that you look kind of good and it gets you ahead, you know. And you should be working on yourself, but it's not always that way. And there's kind of these things that you can get famous by to do the work when you are that kind of a person. And if you go for music, for example, to become famous, that's kind of not maybe something you should do. But if you do that, then go ahead. And yeah, just do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna find a way. But at the moment I have to do everything pretty much by myself. You have to start somewhere, and I'm starting somewhere. And I'm starting to really, really fucking, you know, respect how hard it is to become famous, you know. It's very hard. It's not easy. It doesn't happen by accident, you know. You know, just looking good won't get you there. That's for sure. Thanks for watching this video. I want to become famous, artist, personality, celebrity. That's my style, you know. If you have any power in this game to make me this way, and I would be able to help you in any way, then remember that this is what I want. And I want you also helped in this process. And I'm sure I can help you a great deal in this. Yeah, thanks for watching this video. Let's become great together.